Morning, students. Sound is audible, right? Yeah. So last class, we were starting a new chapter today, magnetism and moving charge and magnetism. But before I start the new chapter, let me just quickly revise that RC circuit. I have already sent the assignment 5. Assignment 5 contains only 18 questions. Okay. Assignment 5 contains only 18 questions. All the questions are based on RC circuits, especially during charging and discharging. Only I think one or two case is for steady state. So once it is steady state, very simple, wherever is capacitor, in that branch, just make the current equal to 0. So the branch containing the capacitor will have no current in steady state. Okay, one or two questions are like that. So let me just quickly revise so that all of you can try those questions tonight. Okay, at least after 7 p.m. you can start solving those questions. I have shared the solution also, but directly don't see the solution. First you try and then see the solution. Okay, so I will start the new chapter, but just for 10 minutes let me revise. So the main thing is during discharge, okay, but basically what will happen is there will be a capacitor which has been already charged. So Q naught minus Q naught. So that is the initial charge. When you connect it to a resistor R and then you put a key, no battery because we are trying to discharge. Okay. Then at time 0, if you close the key, then the discharge will start. The charge will start, plus charge will start going here. So this capacitor will lose positive charge. This plate will lose positive charge and this plate will lose negative charge. Ultimately, what will happen? Ultimately, all the positive charge will come here. Then there will be no charge left. Okay. So the formula for finding the charge at any time t, is given by Q naught e power minus t by tau. So this formula you have to memorize, very important formula. Okay. So if they want you to calculate charge after some time, maybe half of this t, or maybe half of this tau, or maybe they may ask you exactly after 1 second. So if they want charge after 1 second, what will you do? Here you put 1 second. Understood? Okay. If they want voltage here, what will you do? Divide this by C. Then voltage at time t will be initial voltage e power minus t by tau. If they want current at time t, then write minus dq by dt. And you guys are very good in differentiation. So do the differentiation of this, you will get current. Okay, students? So this is all about discharge. Now during charging, what will happen? During charging, this will have initially no charge. And you have to put a battery. Okay, so the capacitor will start getting charged now through this resistor. Okay, so that time the formula was charge at any time t is equal to charge after a long time, which I write QS. So QS matlab charge after a long time, which is also called steady charge. That will be equal to Q1 minus e power minus t by tau. Okay, so that is the main formula. And what will be QS? If the EMF of this is E, then QS is what? Steady charge after a long time. So once you close the key, after a long time, there will be no current here. So no current means all the voltage of the battery will be only here. It won't be here, because for here you need current. So after a long time, all the voltage here will come here. Therefore, the charge on this QS because after a long time. So that QS will be C into E. or you can write C into V also, your wish, V of the battery. Okay, so here you can replace this by C into V. Okay, students. So that is the formula for charge. Then you know how to find for voltage. Divide by C. And if they want current, write differentiation of dq by dt. The only thing that may change, the only thing that they may change is the circuit may have sometimes more than one capacitor. So if the circuit has more than one capacitor, okay, for example, let me put one more capacitor like this. Then you know what to do. Replace this two by one resistance. If the circuit has two resistance, then you replace it by one resistance 2R like that, and then repeat the problem. Now, what is the formula for tau? The formula for tau, which is called what constant? Time constant, is equal to R into C. If there are, R into C. But if there are two resistors in series like this, then you write 2R into C. Okay, so in such simple circuits where two resistors are in series, you can easily write the time constant. But sometimes the resistors may be connected in different way. So for that, let me quickly tell you how to find time constant so that you can start solving the assignment. Okay. So to find time constant, so what you do, time constant of any circuit will be, of RC circuit will be R effective into C. That is the formula for that capacitor which is getting charged. See, capacitor will be one only. If there are two also, individually we have to do. So for the capacitor which is getting charged or discharged, what will be time constant? R effective into C. Now how to find R effective? That is very, you have to be very careful. So R effective here is, it is the effective resistance or equivalent resistance seen by the capacitor, not by the battery, seen by the capacitor by shorting all batteries, or let me write cells. Okay, so if there is a cell, what you do, you short the cell. Short matlab replace the cell by a wire. If the battery is not having internal resistance, if the battery has internal resistance, then replace the battery by its internal resistance. Okay, let me repeat. Time constant formula will be same only, RC, but that R will be R effective. What will be R effective? It is the effective resistance seen from the capacitor by shorting all cells, or by replacing the cells by its internal resistance. So this theorem, this is a theorem actually. We will not go into the proof of this theorem. Too much lengthy it will be. This is a theorem called, I think electronic students will be knowing. This is a theorem called Thevenin's theorem. And this resistance is also called Thevenin's resistance. Thevenin's theorem. Okay, some of the electronic students may be knowing this theorem, but we don't care about what theorem it is called or what. We don't want that. We just want to know how to find this R effective. So one example I will show you. Quite fast this one. So time constant, once you know, for the charging or discharging of this capacitor, this R effective you have to find. To find this R effective, what you should do? You have to replace all the cell by its internal resistance, if there is internal resistance. If there is no internal resistance, then simply put a wire. And then find the resistance from the capacitor side, seen from the capacitor. So you open the capacitor, and from that terminals you find the equivalent resistance. That resistance you have to put here to find the time constant. So let me try to give you one example. So suppose you have a circuit like this. Okay, so this battery will also get charged because whatever current comes initially will divide here, and therefore the battery will get charged. You know, after a long time, steady state, no charge will be here, no current will be here, sorry, charge will be there, no current will be here, only current will be in this circuit. That we know. But to find charge at any instant, you will use this formula Q. Let us say it is getting charged. Then you have to write Q steady 1 minus e power minus t by tau. Right? If you want to know here charge at some time, then you need to use this formula because it is getting charged. So this tau we have to calculate. So how to find tau? That is very important. Here directly we cannot write RC. So let us say this is R, this is R, this is R, this is C, and this is EMF. Let us say internal resistance is 0. Then what is the theorem says? How to find R effective seen from the capacitor? What I told, wherever is battery, you replace it by short. You replace it by short. And then from the side of the capacitor, put your eyes here. Now from here, what is the equivalent resistance you see? That is R effective. Simple. So now, can you tell me these two are in what combination? These two are in what combination? Series or parallel? See here, these two terminals are joined directly. These two terminals are joined directly. So these two are in parallel, right? So these two terminals are joined directly. These two terminals are joined. Series it cannot be. Somebody said series. How it is series? See, for series, when you go from here to here, there should be no junction, but there is a junction here. No. So current here will divide. So these two cannot be in series, but they are in parallel. So since it is in parallel, R and R in parallel will be what? R by 2. So you can replace this part by R by 2. R by 2. And this R is still there, right? So now when you see from here, the effective resistance will be, now you can see, sorry, now you can see these two are in series. So R plus R by 2, 3R by 2. Okay, so this is how you should find R effective, which you will use in the formula of time constant. So it will be now 3R by 2 into C. So once you know time constant, then you can find charge at time t, voltage at time t, anything you can do. Okay, students? So try to remember this. What will happen? Suppose in the same circuit, suppose they give like this. Suppose this circuit is given. Okay, and we have to find time constant. Sometimes only time constant is asked. Only time constant. So what will we do here? Again, short the battery, this resistance. So if this is the circuit, what we have to do? Again, short the battery, and then this R, this R, this R, this R. 4 R's are here. Now see the beauty. This resistor has been shorted. Shorted means if there is a resistance R, between its terminals, if you just put a wire directly, okay, then you know this equivalent will be just a wire, because this is R, this is 0. So R and 0 in parallel will give you 0. R into 0 divided by R plus 0. So this R will be ineffective. Matlab you can replace R and 0 by just 0. So this circuit will now become exactly like the one that we did. So you can replace R and this 0 resistance wire by 0 resistance wire, these two, and then follows this R, this R, this R, and here you open the capacitor, and from here you find the effective resistance. Answer will be same. Okay, chalo. So now please try the assignment questions. You can put more resistors in parallel. All of them will become short. Okay, so when we started the new chapter, what is the name of the new chapter? Moving charge and magnetism. So you have to ask yourself why it is moving charge, why it cannot be charge at rest. So those things we have to find out. But before that, yesterday in the last part, I told you something, a story I told you about a boy called Magnus, right? And he in a way discovered what we call today magnets. So we know today that magnets produces magnetic field which exerts force on another magnet, very similar to the concept of electric field. But electric field is produced by charge. So if there is a charge, there is electric field. If you put another charge in that electric field, the another charge will feel a electrostatic force. Similarly, now we say if there is a magnet, there is a magnetic field. And if you put another magnet, that magnet will feel a force. Example of this is our earth. Our earth is like a giant magnet. There is magnetic field all around our earth in the space where you are living right now. Right now when I'm standing, there is magnetic field here in the space produced by earth itself. Okay, and then when you bring another magnet would be a compass. So that magnet will feel a force because of the earth's magnetic field. So the compass needle will deflect. You all know if you keep compass needle in some direction, in random direction, it will always come in the direction of north-south. North-south. Why it comes in the direction of north-south? That we are going to study in the next chapter. Okay, students? Which is nothing but Earth's magnetism. So Earth's magnetism we'll study later. But as right now, what you should think is a magnet produces magnetic field which exerts force on another magnet. So if I ask you what is the source of magnetic field, what is the source of magnetic field? You may be tempted to answer magnet. Magnet is the source of magnetic field. So that is fine, that is fine. However, there was a person called Ørsted who did one of the most important experiment. So he was actually a teacher and scientist, also come teacher, and he took his students to teach about electricity, like what I did to you in the previous chapters. So he was teaching electricity to his students. So he wanted to, and that time, no, batteries and all were recently discovered. So everybody was excited to see current in the circuit and that deflection in the ammeter. Okay. So he took all the students and he made a circuit where there is a wire, there is a battery, and then he told when he will switch the key on, when he will keep it on, switch on, current will flow and the battery will, and the needle in the galvanometer or ammeter will deflect. So he told everyone to concentrate. But some students will always be there who will not concentrate. So some students were not concentrating on this needle, but they were concentrating on one more needle which was on the table, lying on the table. Okay. And that needle was not galvanometer or ammeter. That needle was your compass. Matlab, it was a magnet. This needle here was a magnet. So when he switched on, current flows, and then this deflects, of course, because this measures current, but this also deflected. So if this is the wire, and when the compass was kept here, it deflected one way. Then some of the students who were not focusing on the lecture, they told, sir, this is also deflecting like that. Then Ørsted did not believe on it because this is not part of the circuit, no. So how this is getting deflected? And anyways, he knows this is a magnet. And magnets are deflected by magnetic field. There is no magnetic field anywhere. There is no magnet. There is no another magnet. So he tried to check. Maybe some magnet is somewhere which is applying force on this magnet. But there was no such magnet. Then when he kept the switch off, the needle went back to its initial position. Again, when he closed the switch on, this needle deflected. Here, when I say needle, I mean a magnet, which is made in the form of a needle. So this made him realize that current is able to exert force on another magnet. But before I told you, magnetic field exerts force on another magnet. But Oersted discovered what? Current is able to exert force on another magnet. That means he discovered that current produces magnetic field. Current produces magnetic field. Very, very important discovery. Very, very important discovery. Why it is so important? Because before this discovery, people used to think charge is related to electric effects. Charge is related to electric field, electrostatic force. Magnets are related to magnetic field, magnetic force, like that. For the first time, somebody found that current matlab what? Current is related to charge or not? Current is nothing but moving charge. Current is nothing but moving charge. So what this person discovered is there is an intrinsic relation between charges and magnetism. And when the charges are moving, they behave like current, and that current produces magnetic field. Understood? So this was the conclusion of this experiment. So if somebody will ask you for 1 mark, what was the main conclusion of Oersted experiment? And the answer is Oersted experiment showed that current in a wire can produce magnetic field. Similar to magnets produce magnetic field, currents can also produce magnetic field. Okay. So this is the main part. Please make a note. So current produces magnetic field. So right now, if I ask you, what are the sources of magnetic field? What produces magnetic field? Can you answer some? Can you give me some answers? What produces magnetic field if I ask? Till now, whatever I have explained. Current? Magnets? Can't I say magnets? Current and magnets, yeah. So you may be thinking, if somebody will ask you source of magnetic field, what is the source of magnetic field? Just like source of electric field is charge. Source of electric field is charge. So what is the source of magnetic field? Suppose somebody asks you, then the source of magnetic field, is either you can say current or you may think magnet. But actually, students, you don't have to write this part. Only current. Later chapter, I will tell you that the reason why magnets produce magnetic field is actually because of the currents in the atoms of the magnet. So every object has atoms. In those atoms, there are electrons. Electrons have two kinds of motion. One is orbital motion and one is intrinsic motion. Actually, it is called, can you tell me what is the name of the other kind of motion? One is orbital motion and the other is something called spin. So because of the spin of these electrons, which electrons have charge, yes or no? Electrons have charge. So when they are moving, they also produce current. And it is that current which is actually producing magnetic field for the magnets. Of course, you may be thinking, Are sir, in that case, human beings are also made up of atoms. This marker is also made up of atoms. Inside those atoms, electrons are moving. So there is current. So we should also produce magnetic field. Yes, we also produce actually small magnetic fields. But for magnet, in next chapter, you will study that all those magnetic fields produced by individual electrons gets added. And therefore, in the case of magnet, you get a very strong magnetic field. In our case, every electron may produce magnetic field, but they somehow cancel out. They are oriented in random direction. So that is the reason why our magnetic field produced by the currents in our atoms, those magnetic fields cancel out, so we don't produce a strong magnetic field. But in next chapter, you will come to know that in case of magnets, those magnetic fields produced by individual atoms of the electrons of the atoms, they add. And since they add, they produce a strong magnetic field. Okay. So the basic source, if somebody will ask you, what is the basic source of magnetic field? Then the answer is current. Magnets produce magnetic field because of the currents only. So magnets produce magnetic field because of the currents inside. In fact, I think some of you may be knowing that your brain, where the currents are maximum, when you think there is current impulses, voltage impulses moving around, so they produce magnetic field around. And there is an instrument called squid. So this instrument can actually measure the magnetic field produced by our brains also. The full form of this is superconducting quantum interference device. Superconducting quantum interference device. We studied this in the masters. Okay. So what is the main source of magnetic field? The main source of magnetic field is current. Okay. Now, current matlab what? But moving charge. Yes or no? Moving charge. So what did I say to you just now? If there is current in a wire, it will produces in the surrounding space magnetic field. For magnetic field, we write this symbol. Okay. Magnetic. Now, we told before when we were studying electric charge and all, what did we say? We said charge produces electric field. An electric field can exert force on another charge. So if current produces magnetic field, then magnetic field can exert force on another current, right? We must say this because if charge produces electric field can exert force on another charge. Now we have discovered, we matlab Oersted has discovered, I am telling the story. So Oersted has discovered that current in a wire produces magnetic field. So magnetic field should exert force on another current. That means another current means what? Another moving charge. Okay. So the first topic that we have to discuss is this only. Force on a moving charge due to magnetic field. So remember, the charge must move. If the charge is not moving, it will not feel magnetic force. So to feel the force, magnetic force matlab force due to magnetic field. So in order to feel force due to magnetic field, the charge must move, because only currents can feel magnetic force, because currents produces magnetic field. So magnetic field can exert force on currents. Simple analogy. So write down the first topic. See, if I don't explain all this, no, then directly if I write the topic, it doesn't make too much sense. Okay, so the first topic is magnetic force on a moving charge in a external magnetic field. Please remember the word external, okay? Because this moving charge can also produce magnetic field, but that magnetic field will not exert force on itself, right? This charge produces electric field, and that electric field will exert force on another charge, not on the same charge. So if a charge is moving, that will also produce magnetic field, but that will not exert force on itself. So you need another magnetic field to experience the force. So that another magnetic field could be due to some other source that we are not interested right now. So don't ask me who is producing this external magnetic field. That is later we have to discuss. Okay, later. So first we have to ask, there is a moving charge. it is kept in a magnetic field due to some other moving charge. Question is to find the formula for magnetic force. This was done by somebody called Lorentz. Okay, so look the formula. So imagine there is a charge plus q, let us say right now, which is moving with velocity v bar in this direction. Okay, and I apply a magnetic field, let us say in this direction. So this is magnetic field. Let us say uniform magnetic field. Let us assume uniform magnetic field. Just like you draw uniform electric field, equidistant parallel lines, same way you can draw uniform magnetic field. Then the angle between this velocity of the charge and this external magnetic field is, let us say, theta. Then the magnetic force is given by vector, it is vector. Okay, formula you have to memorize. All these formulas were found experimentally, which we will not be discussing. So Q V bar cross V bar. So it is a cross product. It is a cross product. Since it is cross product, little bit of first PU cross product you should remember. So in first PU, how do you find A bar cross B bar? Magnitude AB sine theta. Okay, AB sine theta. And direction is found, since it is cross product will always give you a vector. And to find the cross product, some of my students, AAC students will know, chamak chalo you have to do. Okay. So direction is given by right hand curl, right hand curl rule or something. Okay. So what you have to do is, look here, let me try to remind you, those who have forgotten. So imagine this is black, this black is your A bar and this red is your B bar. You want to find the direction of the cross product. A bar is in this direction, B bar is in this direction. To find the cross product of these two, first what you should do? First you should find the plane containing these two. So if I keep the vectors like this, then this is the plane. Correct now? So your cross product will be perpendicular to this plane. Perpendicular to this plane matlab two directions are there. Either here or here. Correct? Huh? Either here or here. How to find? Right hand curl rule you have to use. So if this is the first vector, this is the second vector, and this is the angle, you have to curl your fingers from first vector to second vector. Wherever the thumb is pointing, that will give you the direction of the cross product. So this is your A bar cross B bar. Okay, understood? Suppose I interchange. Suppose I keep A bar here, B bar here. Then don't go like this. You have to go through the smaller angle. So you have to go this way now. This is first vector. So A bar cross B bar. So your thumb will point this way. So the direction of cross product will be this. Let me repeat last time. Suppose you have two vectors like this. Let me just adjust this chat box, okay, so that I can see myself. Okay, imagine these are the two vectors. First, let me keep it here. Black is the first vector. So to find the direction of the cross product, what you should first do, find the plane. Find the plane that contains them. If I keep it like this, this is the plane. If I keep it like this, this is the plane. If I keep it at some angle like this, this is the plane. So first find the plane in which both of them are there. Once you know the plane, then your cross product can be either here, perpendicular to the plane, either here or here. To find, what you do, curl your fingers from first vector to second vector like this. Then thumb will give you the direction of the cross product. Okay, students. Similarly, if I interchange, if this is your first vector, then you have to curl your fingers like this now. Then your thumb will point downwards. Okay, so that is how we find direction of cross product. So the formula for magnetic force on a charge Q, which is moving with velocity v bar, kept in a magnetic field v bar, is not a direct formula like in electric field. In electric field, the formula was so simple. Electrostatic force was Q into E. You remember or not? This was the formula for force due to electric field. Force due to electric field on a charge. So here velocity was not important here. Even if the charge is at rest, it will experience electrostatic force. But to experience magnetic force in a magnetic field, the charge must move. The charge must move. And where it moves, that is also important. So first you write the formula. Suppose you want only the magnitude. So if you want only the magnitude, suppose you want only the magnitude. Magnitude means modulus. Without vector sign, you have to write. So magnitude will be Q, magnitude of this. For this, you have to see the first PU formula. A bar cross B bar magnitude or modulus is AB sine theta. So it will become BB sine theta. And what is theta? Angle between this vector and this vector. Right? Here you can see. Chalo, write down the formula. This was discovered by somebody called Lorentz. Lorentz. Okay. Done. Fine. Okay. So to find the direction of the force, which is cross product of B bar cross B bar, you have to curl your fingers from velocity to magnetic field and see the thumb. But there is a small issue. This charge can be negative also. This charge can be negative also. So if it is negative, then first you have to find V cross B according to the rule. Then ulta you have to do, ulta, to find the force. Why ulta? Because it is minus, if the charge is minus. So slightly you have to be careful. Now let me give you one more rule to you. If you are not happy with this one, because for this one you have to find first this direction. After finding this direction, you have to see whether this is positive or negative. If it is positive, force will be in the direction of this vector. See, the rule which I told you is to find A bar cross B bar. Matlab in this question, V bar cross B bar, this rule. Okay, students? If this is positive, no problem. The force will be in the direction of whatever you have found. But if this is negative, then after finding V bar cross B bar, ulta you have to do. Ulta because it is negative. No, negative vector matlab ulta, opposite. So that is one. Another rule is there. It is called Fleming's left hand rule. Fleming's left hand rule. So in Fleming's left hand rule, we keep the 3 fingers like this for our left hand. Okay, right hand, if you use wrong answer, you will get. So it is called left hand rule for a reason. So those who are right handed, please be careful, use left hand only. So left hand rule, the first finger. So the first finger gives you magnetic field, direction of magnetic field. So wherever is magnetic field, put this there. The second finger is along flow of positive charge. Flow of positive charge, or you can say current. Current. Okay, be careful. Current. Which means if the velocity of positive charge is this side, put this one there only, because if positive charge is moving this way, current is there only. Already we have learned in electricity chapter. But if it is a negative charge which is moving this way, if negative charge is moving this way, current will be this way, remember. So you have to put the second finger here like this. Here. Understood or not? So second finger should be always along the current, and current will be in the direction of flow of positive charge. So if they give you negative charge, if they say negative charge is going here, then current will be here, ulta. Current will be ulta. So that time you have to put your second finger in the direction of the current. Then thumb will give you the direction of this force. Okay, so please remember this, write down that this is also very easy to use. So let us do some examples. Without doing examples, you will get confused. Okay, write down quickly. This is there in the notebook also, EPL also, but still you can write down. So second finger should be along the current. Okay, so let us do some examples now. First example, imagine this is horizontal. This is horizontal. This is east. This is west. That side is north. This side is south. So I don't mean north is up. Okay, north is that side. So here east, west, north, south. Okay, and these are clouds. Birds are flying. So this is up. This is down. So now let us say a proton. Proton matlab positive charge is moving with some velocity this side. And I apply a magnetic field towards north. I apply a external magnetic field towards north. Tell me quickly where will be the direction of force. So force on this charge will be in what direction? You can use this rule or you can use this rule. Upward, correct. Okay. So how we got upward? Let me check. So velocity vector is here. Magnetic field vector is north. So first vector, second vector, V cross B. So V cross B up. And since it is positive charge, wherever is V cross B, there will be your magnetic force. So magnetic force answer will be where? Up. Okay. Shall we try to use this one? Okay. First finger should be in the, see, first in the beginning only, don't put all your fingers out. Do like this first. So first finger is towards north, put it there. Then check where is velocity, here, then put here. Because if velocity was there, I will do like this. So don't start like this. Start with one finger first. Magnetic field is inside, north. Velocity, this is current. And since it is positive charge, if positive charge is going there, current also will be there. So second finger will be along current. Then thumb will give you the force. Okay? Simple question, right? Fast. Now all the time proton may not move. Who knows? Electron is moving. Electron is moving. Now where will be the force on the electron? Down it will be. So for negative charge, it will be down. Okay. Let us try to use Fleming's left hand rule. First finger, magnetic field. Correct? Negative charge is going this side, north. So current will be east. So you have to put this here. So it is difficult for me to show you, but I hope you understood. So this is magnetic field. This is velocity. So this will be force. Okay, you have to try to imagine. Or you do, first you do V cross B. Then since it is negative charge, ulta. Okay, students. So I hope everybody understood. Now try to rearrange this. Next, try to do 5-6 questions yourself. Put magnetic field up. Make the electron move this side and find the force. Okay. So always remember the force will be perpendicular to this plane. So the magnetic force, write this note, very important. Magnetic force direction is always perpendicular to velocity vector and also magnetic field vector. Very, very important note. Okay, students. So the force due to magnetic field on a moving charge will always be perpendicular to this and this because it is perpendicular to this plane. These two may not be perpendicular, may not be. This angle can be anything. Okay. But right now this angle is 90. But this angle can be anything. It can be 0 also in some cases. So this is very important. So from here, one nice thing we can find out. See, one more note you can write. Since magnetic force is always perpendicular to velocity, since it's perpendicular to velocity, velocity means wherever there is displacement. Velocity means wherever there is displacement. So the work done, very, very interesting. Work done by magnetic force on a moving charge. I hope all of you know the formula for work done. Force into displacement into cos theta. Right? But in case of magnetic force, the force is always perpendicular to velocity. So because of this force, the charge will slightly turn like this. The moment the charge will turn that side, velocity will be here, magnetic force will be again here. So this I will explain later, don't worry. The point is what? Since magnetic force is always perpendicular to velocity, it is perpendicular to displacement also. So since force and displacement are perpendicular, work done will be zero. Is zero. So one more question. What is the work done? What is the work done by magnetic force on a moving charge? Answer is zero. Again, something very interesting. If work done is zero, it means kinetic energy cannot change. Kinetic energy, cannot change. Why, sir? Array, what does work energy theorem says? Work energy theorem says work done is equal to change in kinetic energy. So if work done is zero, change in kinetic energy is zero. So kinetic energy cannot change, which means speed also cannot change. So speed cannot change. Speed cannot change. Speed cannot change. It is not visible. Yeah. Speed cannot change. Okay, speed cannot change. However, students, now you may be thinking what this force is doing. It is not changing the kinetic energy. It is not changing the speed also. Then what it will do? It will change the direction. It will change the direction of the motion of the charge. So if the charge is going like this and it feels a magnetic force like this, then you all know it will deflect like this. Okay, so that we will study later. So please remember, magnetic force cannot do work on a moving charge. That doesn't mean it cannot change the direction of velocity. It can change the direction of velocity. Now see something, some important notes. Let me write the formula once more. So magnetic force is Q V bar cross V bar. Okay, so they may ask you sometimes, when is force maximum? When is magnetic force maximum? When is magnetic force maximum? So when is magnetic force maximum? When is this force maximum? You know this is QVB sine theta in magnitude, right? So in magnitude, A bar cross B bar is AB sine theta. So magnetic force is maximum. Answer is when velocity is perpendicular to magnetic field. Because if velocity is perpendicular to magnetic field, this theta will be 90. So sine 90 will be 1. And the force will be maximum. How much will be that time the force? QVB. So if velocity is perpendicular to magnetic field, sine 90 degree will be 1, remember. Don't forget, this theta is angle between velocity vector and magnetic field vector. Then they may ask, when is force 0? When is magnetic force 0? When is magnetic force 0? So answer is when velocity vector is parallel to magnetic field. So if velocity vector is parallel to magnetic field, whether it is in the same direction, sine 0 is 0, or it is opposite direction, sine 180 is also 0. So whether, suppose magnetic field is this way and you are moving the charge this way or this way, it doesn't matter. In both the case, since sine 0 is 0, sine 180 is also 0, magnetic force will be 0. Which means the particles velocity will remain constant. So if a particle is moving like this, charge particle, and suddenly you apply magnetic field in the same direction, nothing happens. The charge continues to move with same velocity. Why? Because there is no force. Okay, students, keep in mind. Okay. And obviously, if the charge is at rest, then also magnetic force will be zero. Because if the charge is at rest, here, sitting here quietly, and suddenly you apply magnetic field. Nothing happens because the force is Q VB sine theta. So if velocity is zero, the whole thing is zero. Right? Aryabhatta has taught us if one of the number is zero, product is zero. So remember this also. So this is the difference between electric force and magnetic force. Electric force, if you remember, if a charge is at rest and you apply electric field, it will experience force how much? Q into E. Q into capital E. That was the formula for electric force. But magnetic force can be only felt when the charge is moving. Now, there is a small topic called Lorentz force. Lorentz force. For 2 marks, they will ask usually. So they will ask what is Lorentz force and they will ask write the formula. So it is the force, it is the net force on a charge due to both electric field, in exam write electric field and magnetic field. So the total force on a moving charge, better it is moving. No, if it is not moving, then magnetic force will have no role. So it is the net force on a moving charge due to both electric field and magnetic field. So imagine there is a space where I have created electric field also, magnetic field also. Easily we can do. Take one capacitor, put a battery here. Then you know there will be potential difference. Because of that, there will be electric field. Right? Then you buy one horseshoe magnet. It looks like this. So keep north pole here, south pole there. So there will be magnetic field this way. Now, there is something I have to teach you now. Sometimes in this chapter, we will have to show vectors which are this way also. This way and this way. We will have to show because there are 3 vectors. V, B, F. So if 2 of them are on the board, one of them will not be on the board. So to show a vector which is into the board, we will use this symbol. So cross, if I write, this is a very standard symbol in physics. So if I write a cross, it means directed perpendicularly into the board. Directed perpendicularly into the board. How to remember? Into sign into, like that. So this means inwards, okay, into the board. And you can remember by into means into only, no? Or you can think Arjun. So if Arjun is firing a arrow, he will see the backside. And backside, you know, it looks like cross. Right? So if the arrow is going like this, you will see cross. And if I draw dot like this, then it means directed perpendicularly out of the board. So dot means it will be out of the board. So if somebody is Arjun and he is firing arrow at you, then you will see a vector coming like this and you will see a dot. Okay. So dot means a vector coming towards you. Cross means a vector going like this. Okay, students. So what I will do now is I have put this battery. So there is electric field like this. Then you take one magnet, keep north pole here, south pole that side. So there will be magnetic field this way. Cross. So this is magnetic field This black is electric field. So this is magnetic field, this is electric field. Both of them are there now. So now in this space where there is electric field also, magnetic field also, if you throw a charge with some velocity, bang, like that, then it will feel electrostatic force also, magnetic force also. This is just example. No need to draw this one. No need. If you are interested, draw, no problem. So this is an example where there is both electric field and magnetic field. Then the net force will be electrostatic force plus magnetic force. In vector form you write, okay, because they are both vectors. So electric field in vector form, how we write? Q into E bar. Magnetic field, how do we write? Q into V bar cross V bar. So this force is called, in physics, Lorentz force. Two marks, okay. First write the definition, then write the formula. Don't draw this diagram. They will not give you marks for writing extra things, okay. Please write down. So whenever I draw cross, it means a vector into the board, dot out of the board, okay. So for the time being, we will not worry about this force because we have learned so much about this force. We will learn about this force, okay. So now we will do some 5-mark derivations, which is motion of a charge in a uniform magnetic field. Motion of a, oh, it is outside the board. Motion of a charge in a uniform magnetic field. Write down, okay. Now concentrate. For some time, no messaging, no talking, only concentration. So imagine in this space, I create magnetic field this way, uniform magnetic field. Everywhere magnetic field is constant. So this cross means magnetic field is inside the board. Okay. Now in this magnetic field, let me throw a particle this way. Charge particle plus Q this way. Okay. Now concentrate, see what will happen. Don't draw this diagram because first I will draw rough diagram, then I will draw proper diagram. So this charge is coming like this, right? So this is magnetic field inside the board. This is motion of the charge, positive charge. So force will be upwards. So this will feel a force, magnetic force upwards, right? So when you are going like this and suddenly you feel a force here, what will happen? You will turn like this, right? In gravity, that is what happens. If you throw something like this, it turns. Since it will turn, so it will go like this because force is upward and it is going this way. So it will turn like this. When it reaches somewhere here, let's say here, its velocity will be like this, tangent. Velocity is always tangent. Now where will be the force? Let us check once more. Magnetic field is inside. Motion of the charge is up. So force is towards my left. Force is towards my left. So now see what will happen. This charge is going this way, but force is this way. So the charge will deflect this way. Right? Everywhere there is magnetic field. Let me not. Now, here when it reaches, its velocity vector will be along the tangent. Where will be the force now? Magnetic field is inside the board only, but current is this side. So force will be down now, right? You can check. Magnetic field is here. This is motion here. So force will be down. So magnetic force will be down. Then you can guess now what will happen. It will, because it is going this side, it will feel a force this side. It will turn this way now. When it reaches here, its velocity will be like this. Magnetic field is down. Magnetic field is down. Motion is down. Current is down. Motion of the positive charge is down. Velocity of positive charge is down. Magnetic field is inside only. So force is this side now. Again, these things you don't have to say in exam. In exam, who will say all these things, right? So then you know the charge will now come back here. So what is a very interesting thing I've shown you? See, my teacher, no, directly he made the circle. But I'm trying to explain to you that when a charge moves perpendicular to a magnetic field, so this is magnetic field, charge is moving perpendicular. It starts moving in a circular path. So very, very important, because this magnetic force acts towards the center. Okay, students? So in exam, what you should do? You can't draw all these diagrams. What you have to do is, like it is done in textbooks. First, you show a magnetic field. Then, if a charge enters like this, it will start moving in a circle like this. Okay? So the charge is entering like this with velocity v, charge q. And when it is here, that time the magnetic force was here. Similarly, when the charge reaches here, velocity will be like this, magnetic force will be like this. So that you don't have to do everywhere. In two places if you do, or one place also, it is enough. So now, since it is moving in a circular path, in first PU what I have told you, whenever something moves in a circle, you have to ask who provides centripetal force. When Earth goes around the sun, gravity provides. When electron revolves around the nucleus, there is no nucleus here. Hello, there is no nucleus here. Don't think this is nuclear atom chapter. So when electron goes around nucleus, electrostatic force provides centripetal force. So here, can you tell me which force is providing centripetal force? Which force? That force will provide which is towards the center. Check which force is towards the center. Fm. But what is the name of Fm? Magnetic force. So magnetic force provides centripetal force. Magnetic force provides centripetal force. Now, what is the magnetic force magnitude? Q V B sine theta. What is the angle between velocity and magnetic field? Magnetic field is inside the board. Velocity is on the board like this. So it is 90 degrees. Right? So this is your magnetic force. So that should be equal to, provides means it should be equal to centripetal force. Everyone knows the formula for centripetal force. mv square by radius. So what is this r? This r is the radius of the circular path. R is the radius of the circular path in which the charge will move once it enters perpendicularly in a magnetic field. If not perpendicularly, we will think. Don't worry. First, let us do the board syllabus. So now you can see clearly, V will cancel, 1V will cancel, sine 90 is 1. So what will be your radius equals to? Cross multiply mv by q. So this is a very standard formula. I want all of you to memorize this formula. Memorize. R equal to mv by qb, R equal to mv by qb, R equal to mv by qb, like that. So m is the mass of the particle, v is the speed of the particle, q is the charge of the particle, b is the external magnetic field. Okay. This much if they ask, it will be only for 3 marks. So if they ask you the radius of the path, so this is radius of circular path. It is very interesting, check once, that if you look here, magnetic field is uniform. And for same particle, mass and charge will be constant. If you take electron mass and charge is constant. So the radius is proportional to velocity. Very interesting, which means if you increase the speed, somehow means what, sir? How can we do that? When the charge reaches here, suppose I apply electric field this way for a short time, electric field, then that electric field will increase the speed, right? Electric field can do work. Magnetic force cannot do work. Electric field can do work. So when it reaches here, suppose I somehow push it like this, then its speed will increase. The moment the speed will increase, the radius has to increase. So it will go in a bigger path. Understood or not? So the moment its speed increases, the radius also increases. Very, very beautiful. Which means the time taken to complete one revolution, that will remain constant. Okay, so if you run faster, your path is becoming longer. So you ultimately take same time. So next derivation, this is for 3 mark. They will add one more derivation for 5 mark. So this is for radius. Okay, you can write on this topic here, radius. After radius, we want to find the time period of revolution. Time period of revolution. Students, you have to by heart the formula. Because for MCQs, we need to remember the formula. Even for numericals. Now we will do time period of revolution. So time period of revolution. That will be nothing but distance covered in one revolution divided by speed. Because the speed is constant. This is uniform circular motion. There is only force towards the center. There is no tangential force. So since there is no tangential force, the speed can neither increase or decrease. Only the direction can change. Okay. So time period will be, distance is 2 pi r. All of you know that in one revolution, the distance covered is circumference of the circle, 2 pi r. And distance is 2 pi r, speed is v. Just now I found formula for radius, substitute. 2 pi, what is radius? mv by qb. This v is also there. So what do you notice? V is in the numerator, is in the denominator. So v cancels. That means time period is constant for a given particle. So this is the formula for time period. Another very important formula you have to memorize. This is time period. So no v here, 2 pi m by qb, 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 like that. Say 10 times, 20 times, or do more problems. The best way is to remember formulas are to do more problems. Okay. Once you know time period, another 2 things they can ask. Okay. So they can ask frequency of revolution. That is very simple. So frequency of revolution. So frequency is 1 by time period, right? So 1 by time period means frequency will be qb by 2 pi m. Okay, 1 by time period, correct. And finally, they may also ask you angular speed or angular frequency. In this case, you can say either angular speed or angular frequency because the motion is uniform. If the motion is uniform, angular speed and angular frequency are same. So how to find angular speed? It is angle covered by time taken. So in one revolution, angle covered is 2 pi. 2 pi, and time taken for one revolution is capital T. Okay. So angular speed is 2 pi by t. Please memorize this result. This I think you know from oscillation chapter. Oscillation chapter. In circular motion also we have studied. Okay. So 2 pi, what is the time period? 2 pi m by qb. So it will be qb by m. Now you may not be able to remember all the formula, but at least for radius you remember, and for time period you remember. And time period depends only on the what charge is moving, what particle is moving. Is it electron, proton, alpha particle, deuteron, like that? Either that they may ask, that you should know, and magnetic field you should know. Speed you don't have to know to find the time period. It is a constant. Okay. Finished? Now, since you know that time period and even the radius depends on the kind of particle. Different particles may have different charge, different mass, right? So since they may have different charge and different mass, if you move, let's say, proton, alpha particle, deuteron, all of them, if tritium, if you move all of them in a same magnetic field, they will not move in same circle, because the radius, what is the formula? Radius, mv by qb. So radius depends on the mass and charge also, not only on the speed and the magnetic field. Okay, students, mv by qb. So how to find the radius for different particles? For that you should have knowledge about mass and charge. So I will give you some common particles. Okay, so common particles which they ask usually. Here I will give you charge, here I will give you mass. So this is charge, this is mass. So first is obviously electron. So electron charge is E, magnitude is E, and value is, we write ME. ME, right? 9.1 into 10 power minus 31 kg. Extremely small. This is electron. Proton. What about proton charge? Plus E. Mass, let us write M. Okay, M. And that value of proton's mass is 1.67 into 10 power minus 27 kg. All these are approximate. Okay. So this is proton's mass. M I am writing. MP also you can write. MP. Let me write M. Now these two are very common. Now come some other ones. So they may ask you deuteron. So deuteron means proton. If you write H11, deuteron is H21. Okay, so deuteron is an isotope of hydrogen only. Matlab it has same charge but almost double mass. Why I said almost double mass? Because proton matlab single proton. Proton. Deuteron matlab proton and neutron. Proton and neutron. Understood or not? So this is proton. Deuteron matlab proton and neutron. So charge of this will be plus E in magnitude. Let us write E. Charge of deuteron. Now neutron has no charge. So charge will be E only. But mass of neutron and proton are almost same, students. Almost. So therefore for these problems we can take mass to be same. So M mass will be 2M. So that is deuteron. Okay, this is deuteron. Then tritium. Tritium is your H31. All these are isotopes. And I know you all know that isotopes have same charge. So E will be same nuclear charge. So E will be same. Mass will be 3M. Why 3M? Because one proton, 2 deuterons. And sorry, 1 proton and 2 neutrons. And neutrons have roughly same mass as proton. Only when we do nuclear physics, that time we have to differentiate between the masses. And the last one that is important for us is alpha particle. For alpha particle, I want you to tell me in terms of this mass of proton. So what should I write here for alpha particle? Anyone knows? If you don't know, it's okay. My job is to teach you. Here. Abhishek, I'm asking charge. Yeah, so alpha particle is helium nucleus. Alpha particle is nothing but helium nucleus. So since two protons are there, 2e, and two protons, two neutrons, so mass will be 4. So all this is important because what they will do, no, in some exams, they will say proton and alpha particle are moving like that, in with same speed, same magnetic field. What is the ratio of the radius? So to find the ratio of the radius, you have to find ratio of the mass and ratio of the charge, inverse ratio, because radius is inversely proportional to charge and directly proportional to mass for different particles. For same particle, obviously mass and charge are constant. So remember this. If you can add more, you can add, but these are the common ones in physics. Done? Now, whether radius is proportional to mass or whether it is inversely proportional to charge depends on what is kept constant, right? In current electricity also, whether power is proportional to resistance or inversely proportional to resistance depends on whether current is kept constant or voltage is kept constant. So similarly, let us see some different formulae for radius of the path. Different formula. So look carefully. The first formula for the radius of the circular path when a charged particle enters perpendicularly to a magnetic field. I have shown the diagram. It was moving perpendicular. Formula is mv by q. Right, students? So now, if they say v is same, matlab if they say all the particles are moving with same speed, magnetic field will be same for all of them. Don't worry. In same magnetic field, all the particles will be moving. So if they say v is same, then it is very clear radius is proportional to m by q. Right? That means radius of the first one by second one will be mass of the first one by mass of the second one, charge of the second one by charge of the first one. Then you see which are the particles, put the mass, put the charge, cancel the common, you will get the answer. This is if speed is same. Now, we can also write this formula. What is mass into velocity? What is mass into velocity called in physics? Momentum. So I can also write mass into velocity, momentum by qb. So this is momentum. Now it is very much possible they may say the charges are moving with same momentum. So if momentum is same, see students, if momentum is same, speed cannot be same because the charges are different. The particles are different. Suppose a truck is moving, a cycle is moving. If they have same momentum, it doesn't mean they will have same speed because masses are different. So if momentum is same, then speed cannot be same. So this technique will not work. So if momentum is same, then you can see it is only inversely proportional to q. It is only inversely proportional to q. Mass will not come in the formula, right? If you can check here, if this is constant, these two are inversely proportional. So what will you write? R1 by R2, Q2 by Q1. So this time you have to only see the charges, not the masses. Again, don't try to remember the last result. Try to see how to do. If you know how to do, then you can do any problem. Okay, one more formula I want to give you for radius. Last formula. For that, sometimes they may say the particles are moving with same speed, then use this concept. They may say it is moving with same momentum, then use this concept. Sometimes they will say they are moving with same kinetic energy. So then you have to write the radius in terms of kinetic energy. So you all know kinetic energy is half mv square, correct? Let us multiply by mass, divide by mass. Same thing only, right? So now I can write this half m square v square. I can write momentum square by mass, correct? Cross multiply, momentum will be root of 2m kinetic energy. Again, this is also a very useful relation to memorize. This, either this or this. Okay, so don't always think of half mv square. You can write in terms of momentum also. So the third formula for radius I want to write is, here I have given momentum divided by qb. So in terms of kinetic energy, what is momentum? Root of 2mk divided by qb. Okay, students. So this is another formula for radius of the circular path. Depending on whether kinetic energy is given, momentum is given, you have to be careful and check. So this I hope everybody understood. No, kinetic energy is half mv square. So to bring momentum, what I did, multiply by mass, divide by mass, it is the same thing. Then here momentum square, cross multiply. So now if they say kinetic energy is same, this is kinetic energy, then be careful about this root is not for, this root is not for decoration. Okay, so you can see the radius is proportional to now square root of mass, but inversely proportional to charge. Okay, students, so don't forget the square root. So now what will be the ratio? R1 by R2, square root of M1 by M2 into ulta Q2 by Q1. So depending on what is kept same, please check that and then use the formula. Okay, write fast. Okay. Now one small topic I will tell you. See, in the concept which we studied, I told you if there is magnetic field like this, if magnetic field is into the board like this, okay, and charge is coming like this, it starts going in a circle like this. So always remember, the charge moves in such a way that the axis of rotation is the magnetic field. Axis matlab if something moves like this is the axis, no? So when a charge comes perpendicular to a magnetic field, it revolves in such a manner that it revolves basically around the magnetic field. So tomorrow I may say magnetic field is here and charge is coming like this. It will go like this around the magnetic field. So don't always think like this. It can be like this. It can be like this also. If magnetic field is like this and charge is coming perpendicular, it will start going like this. Okay, students, keep that in mind. Okay, we have less time. So next topic we will not be able to complete. So we will do it tomorrow. One small question you try. Proton and alpha particle. Proton and alpha particle are moving with same kinetic energy in a magnetic field. Find the ratio of the radii. Find the ratio of the radii of their circular paths. Circular path are moving perpendicular. Okay, perpendicular to magnetic field. If it is not perpendicular, tomorrow we will discuss. Today I thought, but time is not there. Okay, so try this problem. Again, check what is kept same. This is kept same. What is the answer? 1:1. Let me see. Let me see. So what is the formula for radius? See, in exam, how will you do? Now in exam, you may not remember all the formula. Right now you remember because just now I taught you. So you may only remember the standard formula, mv by qb, right? This one you may know because this one you will study for board exam also. So immediately you will write mass into velocity as momentum, and momentum you will write root of 2m kinetic energy. So from here it is very clear that the ratio of proton by alpha will be root of mass of proton, mass of alpha into charge of alpha, charge of proton, right? R1 by R2 will be root of M1 by M2 into Q2 by Q1. So now, what is the mass of proton if I write M? Then mass of alpha will be 4m. Charge of proton if I write E, charge of alpha will be 2e. So this will be 1 by 2 into root 2. Sorry, 1 by 2, I correct only. M cancel, E cancel. So 1 by root 2 into root 2 will be 1 by root 2. How everybody got 1:1? Root of 2mk. Charge is not, correct. Sorry. Charge is not in the root. Sorry. So it is, it was charge of alpha by charge of proton. So this was outside, this was inside. Okay, so it will be, if charge of proton is E, charge of alpha will be 2e. So answer is 1:1. Chalo, have a good day. So like this, try with same speed, try with same momentum. 3 questions you try today and let me know the answer for same speed and same momentum. Okay, thank you. Please go through the assignment. Yeah, Kirti, correct only.